Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome. Today we're going to be installing a Siren and speaker into my truck. I already wired it up to make sure that it works because a buddy of mine gave this to me. He had it for a while. I've had it for over a year, so I wanted to make sure that it works first before we do a full install. So let me show you what we've got to work with. This is the Siren here. It's a Show Me 30.2100. If you want to know, I don't think that they even make these ones anymore. So these are made in the USA. It has a ground, positive 12 volt, 100-watt speaker, and the speaker comm. So those are the four wires that we're going to be using. You could also has the option to hook it into your vehicle's horn and the radio speakers. We are not going to be doing that. So just the top, the ground, the 12 volt, the 100-watt, and the speaker comm. So the 100-watt and the speaker comm, those are both just regular car speaker wire. So I have these two speaker wires wired up to the speaker. This is going to get mounted into the front of the truck here in the grill. Right here, this bracket that I've already tested, it works good with that. And then we're going to be drilling a hole into the frame here. Siren itself, this is going to be going inside the cab. So I've got a big old mess going on. I got all the wires, so I'm going to shorten everything up. If we look inside the cab here, I think the best spot is really just going to be mounting it to the dash. That way, if I get in a car accident, it will fly up and kill me. So this Siren's really cool. It has a PA system, siren, and a horn. Everything is super loud. So it has an on and off switch, and then the rest of this should be volume. But when I hooked it up, the volume didn't work. It was already at max. So this thing is super loud. I'll show you once we get it all hooked up. So we're gonna run the wire actually underneath the dash here, through the firewall of the vehicle, and then we're gonna run the wires up and across the dash to hook into the back of this. I'm just gonna Velcro with some Velcro tape. That way, if I ever want to take it off, I totally can. It'd be super easy. I'm just gonna have some exposed wires. We're probably gonna go through there where we have those other wires already going through. I set up a ground just right here as close as possible as I could get to that hole. And then we are also hooking up to the battery. So this is a inline fuse. We can pop this off. So these you want to put as close to your power source as possible. So we're just going to hook this in right here to this guy. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is mount this speaker up front here. We're going to put it in this direction. And for now, we're just going to throw a bolt in and get our measurement for where we need to drill into the frame. Okay, that's on there tight enough. Don't need to do nothing crazy. We're just gonna mark our hole for where we need to drill. Okay, unfortunately, we did have to take the bumper off to get the drill bit up against the metal, but luckily these Tacoma bumpers come off super easy. So we're gonna drill right schmear. Beautiful. Okay, that goes like that. So I'm gonna be using this bolt. I got a washer for it. And then this is just like a little plastic spacer that I'm gonna put inside this gap here. Got another washer for the backside. And then we got our nut. Perfect. I'm just going to tighten that down. We got that mounted. We are going to wire across the front here, do a little swoopy underneath here, run behind this black plastic, and then shoot for that hole right there. I got my ground, my two speaker wires, and the wire that I'm going to hook to the battery, my 12 volt. I got them all taped up here. I have like 30 feet for each. So we're just going to run this through that hole, pull out all the slack, tighten everything up in the engine compartment, and then we're going to cut this to size for what we need inside the dash. Okay, so the last step for this, since we have the inline fuse now hooked up, is going to be to hide these wires inside the cab. So I'm going to try to run these up the side of the dash and then across the top into the back of the Siren. I have the wires coming from underneath there through the firewall up along this rubber piece behind this vent and along the front of the dash. So the wires are popping out right here in the middle. All we're gonna have to do now is cut the wires and connect it to the Siren, where we're just gonna soft mount it right here until it gets some Velcro. Everything is now wired up to the Siren. We're basically done now, other than I'm gonna have to wrap those wires up. So I don't believe that the volume is working either. There's a horn, Siren. So I'm being respectful of my neighbors and not letting it crank off, but the horn works, siren works, perfect. And then also we have the PA system. Okay, so it's a couple hours later. I got everything finished up. I had to go to the store because, oh, you hear that? That's sweet, sweet Velcro. So I got some adhesive Velcro that sticks to the dash.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe.